Mrs. Sawoky, thank you so much for being with us today.
A pleasure.
You are a banker, a wife, a mother. Could you tell us a little bit about your background?
Well, I'm the head of department in a bank. Two daughters, Chiara and Riddhi. One is going to be 10 years old. Second one going to be 8 years old. The little one, Riddhi, known to you very well. She's at Duke's Bridge. Really, really very special to me, our family. She has a Down syndrome. Okay. Husband is the head of department as well, a banker. So that's our small family.
So thank you for sharing that and for agreeing to be here. In fact, when we've talked about the parents that we wanted to invite on our podcast, your name was right up on the list because we've known about you and your journey and, obviously Riddhi. And we thought that it would be great for our audience to hear your story and how you've navigated through life and still have a great smile every time that we see
thank you.
And so let's just start talking about that situation. Riddhi is a special child. We love Riddhi. I mean, we're just talking before about how she's so popular and everyone loves her, and the fact that she has Down syndrome, I mean, it hasn't stopped her from being very popular child.
Indeed.
Everyone loves her, and so maybe people don't know much about Down syndrome. Did you know about Down syndrome before Riddhi?
Yes. You don't know about it, unless you go through it. But prior to her birth, yes, I knew about it.
I suppose when you're not aware of, the condition, people make assumptions and there's some préjugés, there's, misconceptions.
Yes.
Is this perhaps an opportunity for you to maybe educate our audience about what is Down syndrome and what can a child do and can't?
Interesting. In the sense that you said misconception, yes, it is a misconception, definitely. Like any sensible parent, I would Google, I would read books, I would buy books on that, I would do a lot of research. In fact, I'm very good at it, doing research. So I read a lot about it. And the practical side of it and the theoretical side of it, there is a big gap in fact. Well, this Down syndrome, which we call DS, it's medically speaking, it's kind of an extra chromosome that a child has. But that doesn't make her different. She's a human being after all. And the beauty in that is, in fact, you know her very well. It's when you interact with her, you see that the kind of human being that she is, the joy that she brings is immense. In fact, after a long day's work, when you come back home, you see the way she welcomes you. She looks at you with a smile and all this stuff. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing indeed.
There are different. Can function normally. They can speak, eat, walk.
Everything. I'll not use the word normal, but then I'll elaborate on this if you allow me to do so. Thing is, you have the theory. Okay, and the theory tells you this. But when you are hands-on with that, it is so different. Okay, you have a background. It is this. But then, like Rishi said, they have everything, all the potential in fact. So every child is born unique. You are different, I'm different. We have different race, color, skin, grade, size, shape, everything. You see, I cannot expect her to do this. She has her own potentials, and then I need to identify and give that support where there is a weakness and bring in her that thing which she's able to, get the maximum out from her. So, in brief, I can say what is there really in books, it's not really in practice. And there are it's a range. Sometimes people have mild DS or severe DS. So it's on a spectrum.
It's a spectrum, yeah.
Exactly. So you have different scale, you see.
And when was it that you realized that your second born, was going to have Down syndrome? Was it before birth, or was it afterwards that you?
Well, before I think when I was on my third of month,
Okay.
yes. So I knew about it because the medical report would say that.
I mean, generally in life, when people, have an adverse report, something that they were not actually expecting,
Yeah.
their reaction would be, disappointment, down, probably resentful,
Yes.
towards life, towards God, and just hopeless.
Yes.
How did you take that news?
I think it's very natural and legitimate to have those feelings. You see, like we said, life is not rosy, and we were never promised a rose garden, anyways, when we come on earth.
Yeah.
So it's like on a roller coaster. You see, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you go up again, you go down again. So yes, I had my fair share of all those kind of feelings you mentioned. But I'll say thanks to my spirituality behind, which helped me to see things the way I have to see it. And yes, I did have a family support for that as well. And I think my husband also brought his fair share of contribution in making things better, to see things the way it should be.
Did you find that you were both on that journey at different points? Like, did you come to grips with it at the same time? Like, were you on the same carriage of the roller coaster together, or were you ahead of him or he?
So at that point in time, yes, it was quite like any other sensible parent. It's kind of blurred. You do not know the other side of it. It's a lot of uncertainty, but you carry the risk with you. Okay, so well, my background was risk management. That comes into perspective here. Like you have to assess the risk. You see, it's already there. It's coming. You have to assess the risk. What is it that is acceptable? What is not acceptable? So what is it that will be possible, not possible?
Yes, it is a fact. It is happening. There is anxiety and there is all that stuff. But there is a choice that you still have to make, right? I mean, yes, you go through that process of digesting the news, and then there comes a point where you have to make the decision, what kind of parent I'm going to be.
Yes.
And I suppose you had to walk that road with your husband. And what was that turning point for you?
The first few days, I mean, it was indeed very tough and challenging. Like I said, it's natural. Okay. Then, well, you have to handle. You have a hot pot, so you have to handle. The environment makes the difference as well. This is the support system, where the support system comes into play. So the doctors have a very critical role to play here. Very, very critical. It's the way, because you trust them, you rely on them on what is the way forward, what is it, what is this? And yes, I've read about it and all, but now it's here. It's a hot cake. What do I do? Luckily, I must say, the pediatrician, he lives at QPIP. I think he's more a human being than a doctor afterwards. So he took his mobile and showed to me, look at this famous singer, you see, he's a DS, look at him, and look at this one. So he came with so many role models and kind of suddenly removed that blurred picture in front of me. As compared to my husband, I must say, I won't say stronger, but then I was able to take it more in my stride after some time. He got it as a blow on his face, at 5 a.m. in the morning when that was the gynae when she came and announced that. But then afterwards, I knew he came trying to, kind of telling me the things. But afterwards, I was the one who could see the future brighter than expected, because, after talking to the doctors and all, it was like, it's not as as gloomy as it is appeared.
Yeah.
Because look at this one is a famous singer, this one is a writer, this one is an artist, this one is a dancer, this one is a teacher, this one has completed graduation, this one is running a business, this one is from the US, and etc. etc. So hope comes.
Yeah, hope comes when you realize that people with Down syndrome can achieve things. They can still live a beautiful life and impact.
After all,
the
you know,
world.
Shannon, the thing is, we are all human beings.
Yeah.
Okay. So these expectations and all, they are man-made.
Yep.
Okay. And then if man-made, man can create that expectations. I can also create other kind of better things.
Yeah.
You see. So it depends on what you are expecting.
Yeah.
So I have to accept. I have to be reasonable as well.
Yeah.
Be realistic.
Yeah.
But then don't destroy someone's happiness, like you say.
So actually, I was going to come to that because the theme for our podcast, or for our whole year actually, is happiness at school. And in fact, when you were talking about facing reality, accepting the limitations of, reality, but for you, what struck me always has been, I still remember the first time we met and you were telling me about Riddhi, and the word that came to you was blessing.
Yes.
Riddhi is a blessing.
Indeed.
To me, to my family.
Yes.
And I could totally believe you because, it like you said it out of, this honesty, and like you really believed it.
Yes.
You didn't just say it because you wanted to kind of, make people believe that this was not the reality or a reality that I was creating.
Yes.
But it was true. And so I really wanted you to talk about how this situation, how Riddhi has been able to become this blessing to you, when maybe before people would have thought, well, this is not a blessing to anyone's family.
Yeah.
And I think this would be the source of happiness, that you could talk about.
Indeed, I'm happy you just start this conversation, Rishi. She's a wake-up call.
Yeah.
She is. I'm convinced about that. Personally, for me, I have everything. You mentioned it. I've traveled the world, all the major cities in the world, before my wedding, after my wedding, till now.
Yeah.
I've got all the titles that I think I have.
Wanted.
Okay, a professional accountant, anything, and a few things which I have missed out in my life. I see it in Riddhi. I learn it from her. Wow. Well, I forgot to say in the beginning that DS child, they are known to be very joyful.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it. I read it. I think this theory and practice, here it matches. They are aligned. Yes. They are very joyful. Always. Yes. So with Riddhi, it's like a wake-up call for me. Why? Because she reminds me at every step, be human.
Yeah.
Be human. Your title, your job, your position, your career, your wealth, everything that you have is not that which will give you happiness.
Yeah.
That smile which is lacking on your face, this is what is happiness all about. The hug that she gives.
Yeah.
And every time there is that thank you on her lips.
Yeah.
May I help you? I quote her own words. Yeah. When you reach home, she's there ready to receive you. Her father is mesmerized with her. I'm just sharing with you the experiences, daily experiences.
Awesome.
Though there are the other side of the coin also, which I'll tell you, all those tantrums and all, which is part of the package.
Yeah.
So Riddhi is how do I say? Blessing really for me, because she completes the family. Okay, it's like I must say the pillar at times.
Wow.
Pillar indeed.
Wow.
Because we are all running around in a rat race.
Yeah.
The first one running for school, my husband running in the morning. I'm also running around. She's the one who's poised, who's calm.
Wow.
Unless you disturb her in her routine. Though I have to drag her at times because we're getting late for school and all. She loves her school, by the way. So she gives me that glimpse of life that I'm missing out on. Like
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
calm down a bit. I need to smile a bit.
Yeah.
I need to realize that I'm a human being. I need to realize that I have to treat others the way I want others to treat me. You see?
Yeah.
So in her, I see that those features which I've kind of missed out, or people miss out usually when we are running around, after position, title, money, wealth, fame, or whatnot.
Did you have any particular advice or any one thing that you remembered through the journey, especially in the early days, that sticks out to you that you would pass on, or anything that you would say to offer parents who might be in a similar situation?
You should be very patient.
Okay.
Be courageous. Take one step at a time, and give time. Okay, not everyone moves at the same pace, and don't compare yourself. This is something we should never you should avoid. You see, comparing yourself or your children with others' children.
Yeah.
Because everyone has his or her own challenge. And what matters most is value the person as a person. And I say, as a human being, as I say. For me, in fact, Shannon, what strikes me is when people tell me, oh, she's has a DS, she's different, or something, then I realize, oh, she's a DS. Because I have gone very, very far. I don't really take her as a child with a DS.
Yes.
I don't sincerely. I vow on that. I don't take her.
I think anyone in her world who knows her also, it's an afterthought, or it's not until it becomes like, oh yeah, we'll need to.
I mean, at school, the teacher will be like, okay, this is Riddhi, this is X, this is Y.
Yes.
It's not like this is X, Y, and then there's a Down syndrome child. It's not. She is just like everyone else, but she's got her own character and specificities, just like X and Y also does have their own.
In fact, things that she's able to do, others may not be able to do. Like I say, the features that she has, very joyful, and the different characteristics that I mentioned, she's better off than others. You see, with money you cannot buy that at times.
But can I ask you a very pertinent question? And I warn you, this is a chat that I wanted to have very honest and deep and meaningful, because I truly think that when we're honest about this, it can help other people. When your child comes and tells you, Mom, why am I different?
Yes.
Why can't I do this? Why is my sister able to do this or look this way and not me? What does that do to you, first of all, as a mom?
Yes.
And then how do you overcome that situation?
Okay. In fact, it's the other way around. It's when Kiara says, why is she different?
Okay.
Instead of really come and tell me why is she different, she's not bothered about it.
Yeah.
She knows that she has to do this. In fact, she loves ballet. So she loves singing, dancing, and all those fun stuff. So yesterday I asked her what you did at school. She said maths. I said, okay, do you love maths? She's like, okay. I asked her, what do you do in maths? Then she started like cocomelon shapes and all those. I was like, okay, you're not really into maths then, but she's loving what she does. Okay, so she doesn't consider herself as different because she's channeled in the direction where she is capable of. She's not different. She's in fact overshadowing the other one.
Okay.
So when the other one says, why is Riddhi not doing, she doesn't have to do long division, multiplication and all those. I said, because she's very lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. She is doing very well there and you're not doing well there. And then I come to the subject matter. Like she has this, and this is how she is. Okay. And you have this. And look, you're not doing very well in maths. You better concentrate on your maths. So it's like that.
Yeah.
When we travel, okay, this is the other experience. In fact, that was in Montreal, Canada. That was in 2019. we came out of the airport, we were at the immigration counter, and then she started with a tantrum on the floor, wouldn't, the usual stuff. And all. So I was like, okay, cool down. This is how she is. And I have to handle her the way she is. So there was one officer who was supposed to be very strict. Okay, very strict. And I find that the way he was dealing with other people were very asking kind of serious questions and all. Out of the blue, this gentleman comes and then started a conversation with me, very nice, and then he was telling me, my brother is a DS, and in fact, we should be looking at them, those medical checkups and whatnot and not. And because of Riddhi, we were given the privilege of, going on the kind of fast track. So the question that, whether she comes to me and tell me why is it that she's different and all, I think 20 years ago that question would be valid. Not today, because the kind of environment support that you give, they do feel empowered.
That's awesome. Do you feel like, I think most people are probably like this gentleman from the airport, like very kind, or they're sincere when they ask questions about what you've going through, or maybe they might share stories where they know someone with Down syndrome. But have you ever had any kind of nastiness or criticisms?
I just recently had one experience of this kind that was at a wedding, a close relative wedding, where all the children were like, playing together, and Riddhi was pulling the legs of other children. So I was informed by one parent, like, your child is doing that there. By the way, whenever we go, we keep an eye on both kids. Wherever they are, whether it is at the airport or whether it is in a function, whatever, it is our duty. Like we say, for a banker, duty of care. So he as a mother, duty of care is there. But they have to grow.
Sure.
Yeah. So I just leave them on their own, but keeping an eye on wherever they are. I've been very protective at the beginning, overprotective, I must say, which is a bit detrimental, in fact, to their growth, which is not very good. So this 2 or 3 times I've gone there to try to kind of see what was really happening, but then I realized it was over dramatizing, because she wasn't doing things which were really that kind of information that I got from that parent. So my reaction would be at that time was like, I think so be it, it's part of her growth. In fact, you have to handle your child, not me. Right?
I love that.
So I allowed her to go and continue play. I didn't stop anything. Because it was the other child, no say children, because it was one child specific, one child's mother, who had a problem with that, not the child himself, and not Riddhi, and nobody else. So at the end, the mother came to me directly saying that, I don't know why you people don't look at after your children, and kind of, you're enjoying in the party and you're leaving your child there, and the child is misbehaving, such and such thing. Then that was kind of which went directly to my heart, instead of using my mind, which I usually use more than my heart. So it was like, yes, I think she didn't realize what she said, and it went directly to my heart. I did felt the pinch. Then I took it with a pinch of salt after some time, saying that maybe she didn't realize what she said. And then I took Riddhi out from that circle and then went around, then came back. Then by that time it was time for us to leave the party. So we left. So I believe society has a very important role to play, to realize that how much harm they can cause to other people. Instead of contributing, they are not They are not contributing. They are just destroying something which is very intangible and can have lifetime scars on other people's
Do you think
development.
that's because they don't know much about DS? They see the child and she looks different, and therefore I don't know how to react, how to interact, with the parents, with the child. I don't know if my kids will be negatively influenced or whatever, and maybe I need to be more guarded. You think there's a bit of that, or do you think that it's like, too hard, I don't want to get involved?
So, education is not about qualifications and all those stuff. Education has a wider perspective. I come back to that spirituality part of it. You see, it's not about my child is different, this child is different, so this child will influence this one and may cause harm to this one, so I have to protect my child from the other one, not including your child with this one. So it boils down to the bottom line is about your education. Okay, so you need to have that kind of spirituality or background in you. Know that you yourself, you're a human being. It's not about this child or that child. Okay, so I think that kind of education is important.
I agree, and I think also that whenever someone speaks out in a nasty way or they do something that really it pinches the heart, it says a lot more about where they are at and the expectations that mother must have placed on her own self. Rather than you.
And it's sad to say that down the line the same mother will realize one day or the other, but you will have there an expectation gap as well. The definition of happiness for me and someone else is not the same. If you think that your child will achieve this and have this or whatever much of wealth or comfort you want to buy, you can buy comfort but not happiness.
Wow.
So Riddhi has, touch wood, the comfort that she requires. She's traveled everywhere, so many places. You mentioned it, from London to Canada or Dubai, India or Singapore, Malaysia. You just mentioned it. She's been there, she has the comfort, but I can tell you money cannot buy the smile and the joy that she brings to the family.
That's beautiful.
Truly speaking. So if that mother thinks that, that she's toiling so much, protecting his or her child and giving all the comfort that the universe can bring, then this is temporary. Very, very temporary.
And in fact, that can really hinder that child's growth if we as parents really insist on sheltering our kids from any suffering at all. It's delaying their own personal growth in learning to deal with the troughs of life.
True.
One final thing for me, you mentioned before about being worried about the future because of uncertainties, and I think that can be a source of unhappiness for a lot of people because anxiety, they're worried.
In fact, yes.
And I suppose at some point, to an extent, every parent may not be worried, but they are concerned about what the future of their children are going to be like. Have I groomed them enough? Have I set them up properly? What are they going? What's their future going to look like? I think it's legitimate, but more so for a parent of a special needs child, right? And so, how do you embrace that, and how do you not let that stop you from smiling?
Happiness, like we said, it's not I have to wait for something to come to give me happiness. Happiness is now. It's the power to choose. I choose to be happy now. If Riddhi chooses to be happy now, she has to be happy now, not tomorrow.
Sure.
And it doesn't depend on yesterday. And it doesn't depend on how she's born, what she has, what she doesn't have, what she's able to, what she's not able to. Okay? Yes, like any other sensible parents, any person, this comes to your mind, like the future. Future is future. Okay? Future doesn't come. It will keep you'll keep having future. One day your life will stop. Future, like you say, tomorrow never comes, only one tomorrow comes. So similarly, the thing is, you have to learn to accept, learn to like what you have, value what you have now. Time is precious. Riddhi's future, well, come back to the question, anxiety and all those stuff. Yes, initially you do have all these because you are a human being. You have to, it's natural to have those feelings. But then your definition of what is happiness, what will make you happy, expectations, being unreasonable or unrealistic, okay, and thinking that comfort, oh, money will buy you happiness, trying to compare your child with someone else. I think these are the misconceptions. It's not about the child is born with a DS and now I start, kind of over dramatizing. People were born with Down syndrome and have gone. They will continue to be born and they will continue to go. It's a journey. Okay, we're not all born with a, how do you say, golden spoon or you see. Well, in a nutshell, it's like we have to really look at our definition of happiness. It's not in the kind of car I'm driving, the kind of if I have a private jet or a villa or with things in material possessions that bring in happiness. The thing is, the child when coming next to you, having that kind of a smile, the hug that you get, and well, that's I think money cannot buy that. She cannot buy that. So coming back to her future, God has his own plans. God's plan is perfect, and he gives his strongest soldiers the biggest battle. Okay, so he knows what he does to who, or whoever. He has reasons for everything. Really being a DS, he has his own reasons. He has his own plans. I am just an executor. I have to implement, okay, and have faith, trust, and the love that I have to give. I have to do my duty, and she has to do her own part as well. I cannot be kind of spoon feeding all the time. I do my part, and I should not be having unrealistic expectations as well. Yes, I have to have my own responsibility towards her. What we have to do is together, we have to support, give the, like we say in French, l'encadrement nécessaire, the required environment, support system, and you will see that potential that the child has. It's amazing. It's really amazing. So her future is in her own hands. I'm giving her everything that she requires. I'm equipping her to the best of my ability on a best effort basis. The rest, God will take care. I'm sure about it.
Awesome.
It's really great. I think that's such a rich experience that you've shared with us. Thank you so much. I'm sure that a lot of people listening will be really drawing a lot of from your wisdom that you shared.
Thank you
very
Definitely.
much.
And you say, I just wanted to leave on that note, you say Riddhi's a blessing to you, but I think she's really also blessed to have you as a mom.
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
You've done so well, and we know that your faith will carry everything through, and that her future is bright.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Thank you, Rishi.
Thank you.
So to all the parents and all the listeners, I think I'll tell them to be happy. Just be happy. Keep smiling and have faith. Be patient. Live one day at a time.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Well,
All right.
It's great.